to play. Today we are going to read a book, a story about Peter Pan. Look at it. Amir, do you want to listen to the story?
Yes.
Okay. And I wanted to tell you that I'm Wendy. Welcome to Neverland. So, I'm going to read the book. There once was a house in London where the Darling family lived. There were Mr. and Mrs. Darling and their 3 children, Wendy, John, and Michael. Watching over the children was Nana, the nursemaid, who also happened to be a dog. This was the home that Peter Pan often visited. He chose this house for one very special reason. There were people there who believed in him. Wendy would tell stories of Peter Pan and his adventures in a magical place called Neverland. Peter loved to sit in the shadows and listen. One night, while the Darling children were sleeping, Peter Pan and his fairy friend Tinker Bell slipped into the nursery. Peter had left his shadow behind the last time he visited and had come back to find it. Suddenly, Wendy woke up. "Peter Pan," she cried, "I knew you would come back." She had been keeping his shadow safe. Carefully, she sewed Peter's shadow back onto his feet. Wendy explained to Peter that tonight was her last night in the nursery. "I have to grow up tomorrow," she said. "I won't have it," Peter cried. "Come on, we're going to Neverland." "You'll never grow up there." Wendy woke John and Michael so that they could come too. "But Peter," said Wendy, "how do we get there?" "Fly, of course," answered Peter. He sprinkled the children with Tinkerbell's pixie dust and told them to think happy thoughts. Soon they were flying out of the window.
Mama, can we have pixie dust?
Pixie dust, pixie dust. Okay.
It's itchy.
Soon they were flying out of the window. Peter, Tink, and the children soared through the skies and finally spotted Neverland. "There's a pirate ship," cried Michael. The captain of the pirate ship was Peter's greatest enemy, Captain Hook! That's a funny video.
Can I just pick the dust?
Yeah.
Okay. Come on! Greatest enemy! Okay, here is Captain Hook. Ah! Oh no! Okay, I'll keep it back. Arr! I'm Captain Hook! Amir, you say or something. You say something like Captain Hook says. "Last, that Peter Pan," said Hook as he studied a map of Neverland. If I could only find his hideout, I would trap him." Captain Hook got his name because he had a hook where his hand should have been. A hungry crocodile had bitten Can you see him? I am a crocodile and I could eat some. Okay. Luckily for Hook, there was an alarm clock in the crocodile's belly that went tick-tock, tick-tock, so Hook could hear him coming. Meanwhile, Peter Pan had taken Wendy to see the Mermaid Lagoon. But John and Michael had no interest in mermaids. They wanted an adventure with Peter's friends, the Lost Boys. John, you be the leader, cried the Lost Boys, then lining up behind him. They marched off into the forest. As they marched along, and the Lost Boys and John made a plan. They would be very clever and capture the Indians. But that's going to be the funny part. The plan might have worked too if the Indians hadn't caught them first. Michael and John were frightened until the Lost Boys explained that it was just the game. The Indians always let them go. But this time, the chief wouldn't set them free. He thought that they had kidnapped his daughter, Tiger Lily. Here's Tiger Lily. Forget. I don't know. Nearby, Peter was showing Wendy the Mermaid Lagoon. Suddenly, he spotted Hook and Smee rowing by in a small boat. Tied up in the back was Tiger Lily. It looks like they're headed for Skull Rock. Peter said, "Let's see what they're up to." Sure enough, Hook was holding Tiger Lily. He had tied her to a rock in the sea and was asking her about Peter Pan's hideout. Go to hideout? Yes, of course. Come here. Yeah. Okay, where are we? And was asked. Hook thought she could tell him where it was. Peter set off to rescue Tiger Lily before the tide came in. Peter Pan drew his sword and fought Captain Hook back and forth. Wendy could barely watch and gasp as Hook lunged at Peter. I have got you this time, Pan! Cried Captain Hook, forcing Peter near to the edge of the cliff, but Peter danced out all the way into thin air. Suddenly, Captain Hook tumbled off a cliff. Smee picked up him in the rowboat, and the crocodile started to chase them. While they rolled away, Peter rescued Tiger Lily and flew back to her father, with Wendy following quickly behind. The Indian chief was so pleased to get his daughter back that he gave Peter a headdress and proclaimed him Chief Little Flying Eagle. Wendy, John, and Michael watched happily as their friend received his reward. But not everyone joined in the celebrations. Back on board his pirate ship, Captain Hook had hatching an evil plot to get rid of Peter Pan. Hook had lured must go home soon. She sang about the wonders of a real mother until even the lost boys wanted to go to London. Only Peter wanted to say, but one by one the lost boys, Wendy, John, and Michael, left the hideout only to walk right into the arms and waiting pirates. Captain Hook and his pirate gang led the prisoners away and tied them to the mast of his ship. I have left a little present for Peter, Captain Hook told Smee. It is due to blast off at 6 o'clock from her glass cage. Tinkerbell overheard to Hook's plan. She was furious. She knocked over the lantern and with a crack she was free. Tinkerbell reached Peter's hideout just in time. He was about to open the package. She tried to pull the package away. There was no time to explain, but it was too late. The box began to smoke. Suddenly, kaboom! Fighting of the prison. The explosion was so huge that it rocked Hook's ship. Captain Hook smiled. "Join me or walk the plank," Hook shouted. "Join you? Never, never!" cried Wendy. She walked to the end of the plank and jumped, but there was no splash. Peter Pan had flown to save Wendy. He set her down safely, then flew up onto the ringing. Hook scrambled up after him and drew his sword. As Peter and Hook clashed swords, Wendy, Michael, John, and the Lost Boys battled it out with the other pirates. Suddenly, Captain Hook lost his balance. He fell overboard and into the water where a familiar crocodile was waiting. "Hooray for Captain Pan!" cried all the children. "All right, ya swaps," said Peter. "We're casting off for London." Michael, John, we're going home. "We're going home," smiled Wendy. Hoist the anchor!" cried Peter. "Think let's have some of your pixie dust." Tinkerbell flew around the ship, sprinkling her magical dust as she went. Then up went the ship, and as it rose, it began to glow like gold. Back in London, Mrs. Darling found Wendy asleep by the window. "Oh, Mother, we're back!" cried Wendy. She told her parents all about their wonderful adventure in Neverland. "Go to bed," announced Mr. Darling. But as he turned to leave his nonsense, passing in front of the moon, a ship made of clouds. "You know," said Mr. Darling, "I have the strangest feeling I have seen that ship before a long, long time ago when I was very young," and indeed he had. Did you have fun? Subscribe my video. Give me thumbs up.